Hey guys, so I wanted to do a continental knitting demonstration. I am a huge fan of continental knitting. I do everything in continental, and the reason that I love continental so much, one of the reasons is it makes the stitches a lot neater because you're able to keep the tension even. Number two, it is so much faster. You can probably double your knitting speed by learning continental. Here is how you hold your yarn when you are doing continental knitting. So I like to hold the yarn around my pinky finger, and then I will take my pointer finger and put it under the yarn like this. So it'll look like this when I'm holding it, which will make it super easy to go underneath and just grab the yarn rather than having to deal with wrapping it. So you yarn through the pinky finger, up and around the pointer finger, and that next to here. The tension, the amount of pull that's on the string or on the yarn will be a lot more even since you're not letting go of it and wrapping it, moving it. You're able to keep it with the same amount of tightness on the string the whole time. Start with some knit stitches in continental. So you are going to take your needle and you are going to slide it underneath this first stitch. Instead of wrapping the yarn, you're just going to grab it from the back and pull it through. So we're going to go underneath that first stitch, grab it from the back and pull it through. Underneath, grab it, pull it through. Underneath, grab it, pull it through. Okay, so let's talk about continental purl stitches. These seem like they're really complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, they are going to be so much faster. So you are holding your yarn the same way. So the yarn is wrapped around your pointer finger and it's tucked down in the pinky down here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come from the back. We're going to come from behind that stitch and we're going to go behind the yarn and we're going to go under it. We're then going to go through the top of the stitch. And this is the part that's a little funky. You're going to grab it, wrap it up, grab that yarn from behind, and then bring it back through the stitch and pull it off. Sometimes I like to give it a little extra tug to make sure it's tight. So we're going to go behind the yarn. We're going to go through the other side of that stitch. We're going to wrap it up, grab the yarn, and pull it back through the opposite direction. So I am holding my yarn. I'm going behind the yarn through the top of the stitch, and then what I'm going to do is go around top and back behind that yarn again and pull it through the bottom of the stitch. So I'm going behind, I'm going through the top, I'm going up and around to grab that yarn again and then pulling it up through that stitch. Fluidly knitting with continental, here is kind of what it'll look like. So knit stitches, purl stitches, you just come from the other direction. Knit stitches, purl stitches. As you can see, the tension on my left hand here is being held more evenly. So as I continue to knit, I'll let go and I'll push the yarn up, or the piece up so it's easier to knit with. I'll put it back in that same position, and then I will continue knitting that way. What helps is to kind of let the yarn a little bit through the pinky, so you're giving yourself some more yarn while you knit through the pinky. And this is definitely a technique that it kind of takes some practice, and it'll seem a little weird at first, but once you get the hang of it, it'll be really fluid. So don't get discouraged if when you start doing this, you find it to be, a little confusing or overwhelming, or you make some mistakes, or it takes you longer to learn at first. Once you really pick them up and it sort of becomes muscle memory, it is going to be so much better. I just can't stress enough how much I really enjoy continental knitting. And people always ask me how I managed to knit so fast, and the answer is continental knitting. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Happy knitting, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.